All right, guys, welcome to the 10 a.m. Eastern Standard call Monday morning. Guys, I am super pumped up about today's call with Michelle Myers, four-time elite coach. But, guys, before we jump into this amazing call and what's working, and we're going to turn this into an awesome discussion today, got to go over a few things with you, okay? Last week, I mentioned those sampler packs, okay? Are we hitting on those sampler packs with our downline? This is a great opportunity for you guys to get an influx of volume in your business centers, okay? Talk about that, okay? And it's a great opportunity for all of us to try new products, okay? It's coming with different products within that sample pack. So get your coaches stepping out of their comfort zone. Have them try some hydrate. Have them try some recharge. It's a great opportunity for them to be able to talk about new products that they've never tried. So blow that up. Talk about the sampler pack. Also, guys, the beach bars, okay? They're coming out next month. Do we have a plan? Do we have a plan with our team? And that's something important that as a leader, okay, we're kind of stepping out of our comfort zone and establishing a plan with our teams right now. Are we talking about bars right now? Just in general, okay? Are we piquing that curiosity with the beach bars that are going to be launching, right? Also, Kim Carver and Dr. Luigi Gratton, they're going to be going live today in the Champions page at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the benefits of not just the beach bars, but they're going to be comparing them to all of the major bars out there and what makes the beach bar 10 times better than any bar out there right now. So this is going to be valuable content. So make sure that you're on that call, ready to rock and roll, and take notes on that. It's going to be good stuff. And then also, I talked about this last week, but make sure, okay, Success Club in March and in April to be able to get an invite to the Success Club party at Summit, okay? Make sure that we are ready to rock and roll with our teams. We are pushing that message with them. We want them at that party with us. Again, I get it. Summit's not a place where we go and we party out, hard, but it's an opportunity for us to learn and grow, but also to have a good time with our teams also. So Success Club this month and in April, push that with our teams. Okay. Enough with me boring you to death. I can't wait to get Michelle on here. Michelle, jump in here. Introduce yourselves to us. Tell us a little bit about you and just what makes you that extraordinary leader.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, but hi, I'm excited to be able to chat with you ladies this morning, and dudes, I just don't see any currently other than Robbie. So, but I'm not discriminating. Okay. So my name is Michelle Myers. I have been a coach. I will celebrate my 10-year anniversary with Beachbody in December. So basically, if you see me at Summit, I'll be in the geriatric section. I'm there with all the old people. But I've been doing this for a really long time. And I want to say that to encourage you, to let you know that this is an opportunity that has longevity, to where this is not something to just jump in, make some money, and then jump out and look for the next money opportunity. This is genuinely an opportunity where you have a chance to build a legacy, not just for your family, but to help other people. And so I think my first point that I have for you, because I have kind of 5 discussion points. Robbie asked me to just talk about what's working. And I have great news for you. What is working for me is the same thing that I've been doing for almost 10 years. And so I don't have any secret sauce. I don't have anything that only works for you when you're 10 years in. I have something that can work for you right now, today, that requires no talent. None whatsoever. So my first point, I would say, is probably the thing that I think has separated me and why I am a coach that's still here almost 10 years later. Because there are a lot of people that I started with 10 years ago that aren't here. There are some, but we're fewer in number. And so it is this tip: be more disciplined. I always tell everybody, I'm like the bug that you just can't squish. Like, that bug that just flies around your head that never goes away? That is me when it comes to this business. I have people every single month that join my team, that join my challenge group, who have been watching me and following my journey and have been friends with me, not just for the 10 years that I've been doing this business, but for my entire life. And so there's a consistency factor that comes in to where it's like, hey, are you still drinking that shake? Yes, I am. And for some reason, people are like, wow, but it goes from being this thing that maybe that works for a season to like, this is something that she actually does. And so I think a lot of times when people think about what is going to separate me and what is going to be my differentiator in this business, they keep looking for some super talent. Discipline is a choice. It's not a talent. It's a choice. And the secret to being disciplined in this business is to do the same things for new people over and over and over again. And you do not have to have a huge influx of this wide audience of people. You just need new people every day, every week, every month that you're investing in, that you're building relationships with, that you're doing life with, that you're supporting in order to keep your business going. Because if you ask yourselves, people are like, oh man, I'd love 100 customers today. Could you take care of 100 customers today? Are you staffed to take care of 100 customers today in your season of life? Probably not. I see a lot of kids running around in the background. But could you take care of 2? And if you did that every single day, and you actually did what you said that what you were going to do, and they stayed on Shakeology, and they stayed on Beachbody On Demand, and they became your biggest fan, or they became your biggest coach, what impact would that have over time? And so the compound effect in this business is real. And so they're very basic when they give us those vital behaviors. Those vital behaviors are not to make you think that we're just giving away part of it and you have to discover the rest on your own. Those vital behaviors +1 are really all you need to grow a business. I've been telling Jeff Hill we need a 5th vital behavior. He hadn't listened to me yet, but I'm going to give it to y'all today. And that is follow through on what you say you will do. I wish that it would go without saying, but I think a lot of people overpromise and underdeliver, which is why customers cancel and why coaches fall through the cracks. And so everything that you tell somebody that you're going to do it. If you will be disciplined to do the 4 vital behaviors and follow through on what you say you will do, and not just follow through, but like if you exceed expectations, like you will blow people's minds. And so don't say, I need to be more talented. Say, I need to be more disciplined, and be more disciplined in the things that grow a business. I'm going to be real honest with you, aren't super fun. It's not super fun to like track your people that you're talking to, or to be disciplined in follow-ups, or to jump in your email inbox. It's a lot more fun to go live on Facebook. It's a lot more fun to just post a pretty picture for Instagram. Those are more fun, but they're not necessarily the things that directly correlate to a growing business. And so be disciplined in the things that nobody sees and nobody knows but you, and you will grow a much bigger business. Do you want me to like pause in between for discussion?
Yeah, we can open that up for a discussion. I mean, honestly, give us a little bit of what you mean by disciplined in the little things that no one sees. I mean, like obviously there's things that you're doing that you're disciplined that no one's seeing right now. Michelle, what is that?
I'm having conversations with people like they're real people. I'm not seeing people as Success Club points or dollar signs. I'm seeing them as people that have a problem that I have a solution for. And when you approach people like you care about them and not like what's in it for me, but understanding like they need me. Like health is a problem. Their kids' nutrition, your nutrition, fitness, like that is a problem. And I know that for the right person, I have a solution for them. I'm not trying to create a problem for them if they don't have one. But if health and fitness is a need that they have that they haven't found a solution for, I know that I found one for me that works. And so I'm going to be committed to the solution that I found. I'm going to be committed to having conversations that show people that I care. And I'm going to see, and if a problem presents itself and I have a solution for it, I'm going to offer it. And then I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. Every day I'm going to try to be a better version of myself. I think a lot of people skip on personal development, but personal development is one of the biggest pieces of this business because A, it's where you get your content of how you have something to share. And B, if you're not growing as a leader, you can't expect your business to grow. Because even if your business does grow, if you're not growing as a leader, you won't know what to do with it. And so those are the things that I think that people don't really think about necessarily. And actually, as a point to prove to my team, about 2 years ago, I took my business offline because I wanted to prove to people that you don't have to have a social media following, because I have a pretty big one. But I wanted to prove to people you don't have to have an online presence to do this business. If you will be intentional with the people that you come across, and if you will do what you say you'll do, you'll have enough in the people that you meet and referrals to where you'll have more than enough that'll take care of you.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I love that, Michelle. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's good stuff. Any questions in regards to what she's covered so far, or any questions, or how do we turn that into a discussion, guys? Morgan, did you unmute yourself?
Morgan, nope, didn't mean to.
No, I did not mean to.
Listening to my kids scream.
No problem. Okay. Well, I'm gonna let Michelle continue if there's no questions, or if we don't want to turn that into a discussion. But
Robbie, I have a quick question.
Okay, go ahead, jump in.
Okay, Michelle, so I have a question because I followed you since I signed up to coach. And I used to see you post a lot more about workouts with really cool biblical quotes and scriptures and things that I loved. Now I've noticed that I feel like when I go to your page, usually I don't know you're a coach, and I don't feel like anybody would know that you're a coach anymore. And I know that you have other businesses that are probably more your main focus, but it's very inspiring and interesting to me that, like you just said, that you can take it offline and you can. So my question would be, we teach people that, and our coaches, that they need to be showing people visibly on social media, like that we are proof of the product, because if they don't know what you're doing, they can't join you and they can't ask you about it. So how do you, without really posting as much about it, are you using the stories, or are you just building relationships behind the scenes, and then when they ask about it, you're sharing?
I'm building relationships behind the scenes, but like primarily my network marketing business is what I do face-to-face with people that are in my real life. Because I feel like I do a better job if I'm going to see you, to where like I have that regular interaction. And so I find that people are much less likely to fall off the face of the earth if like I'm going to see them at school the next day. And so that's one of the things that I do. But I also found that, you know, we're going to talk about this here in a minute, but like people are exposed to over 3,000 commercial messages a day. And so the fact that anybody buys anything from you online is like, pat yourself on the back. I know we all want more customers, but like the fact that they chose your commercial message to respond to out of 3,000 is pretty impressive. And if you think I'm exaggerating, scroll any social media feed of your choice for 10 minutes and see if somebody is not trying to convince you to buy something, believe something, do something, get involved in something, follow something. Like everybody's selling and trying to convince you to do something. And so I think actually what is more duplicatable for people is not, can I make really compelling social media content, but can I be who I really say that I am online, offline? I think that's a lot more duplicatable. And so my team has seen a lot of success with using online as like a supplement way to meet people, but not the focus of the way to meet people. Because if we're honest as consumers, aren't you exhausted and tired of trying to be sold online? Like I am. And so what if you just use online as like an extension, but weren't trying to make it like, this is who I am? Because we're not virtual beings. And so I'm not saying that you cannot grow a sustainable business online. You absolutely can, but you can also do it offline. And I find that a lot of people find that it feels better and it's a lot more natural. Because especially if you're like not a natural writer, I think for whatever reason, some people are much more awkward when they try to write content down and they try to type it out, to where you're like, I'm like, go back and read that. I'm like, would you ever actually say that in a conversation? And they're like, no, you know? And so I think that it helps people, but like I actually train my coaches to work their first 30 days of their business offline, because I think that that actually helps them to know how they would word things when they take it online. When people start online, that's when they get in trouble, because you can't see people's reactions. So you don't know if they don't understand, if they're confused, if they're completely turned off by your message. Like you learn how people respond when you get to see their face. And so you can't do that offline. So, you know, I think for me, what I found was becoming, as my business has grown and my platform has grown, I think that people were making excuses because they thought that I was able to grow my business because of my platform. And so I wanted to prove to them otherwise. And so I just said, forget it. I'll stop posting and I'll show you I can still do it. And I've missed Success Club 1 month since I took my business offline, but it was the month that my daughter was born. And so I consider that a win.
That is a win. I mean, that's amazing. So, I mean, so did you do or do you do a lot of like shake and shares and fit clubs, or do you just do a lot of more of those, hey, your daughter's going to the same school, like, how you doing? Like,
I do a lot of one-on-one conversations, and like, I feel it naturally comes up because I live our brand. I mean, I'm a mom of 3 kids, and I don't look like I have baby weight to lose. And so I think that there's a lot of people that are not in that same situation and same season that I meet. And so they want to know, how did you do it? And I can tell them, like, but it's not like I look at them and I say, hey, you look like you have baby weight to lose. Like, I literally just get into a conversation with them, and I'll ask them what they do, and we'll start talking about kids. And then I think that you'll figure out that between fitness and kids' picky eating habits and like just busy mom life, like, it's a natural need that comes up in conversation. Like, I have several friends, obviously, that are in other direct sales opportunities that talk to me a lot about face-to-face conversations. And they're like, it just doesn't naturally come up. I'm like, yeah, because you sell toothpaste. Like, I don't know how you would naturally make a conversation go there. I'm really confused over what toothpaste I should buy. Could you help me? Like, that normally doesn't come up. And so, like, I think that that's something that we have that's an advantage, is that we're really a lifestyle company to where this is something like eating comes up 5 to 6 times a day, just for you personally, not to mention your kids, and having energy and being tired. Like, those are normal mom conversations. I've had 7 cups of coffee this morning because I can't stay awake. How do you stay awake? How many cups of coffee have you had? 1, So, I mean, we have an opportunity here if we'll just like stop looking at our phones and look at the people in front of us. So.
Couldn't agree. I couldn't agree more. That is awesome. I love that. Guys, any questions for Michelle so far? Everyone's like, yeah, we do need to talk to more people face to face. Agreed 100%.
Yeah. It's a lot more fun too. I don't know about you, but like, you get ignored online, and too, like, I don't know if you know this, but you can be somebody online that you're really not offline. And so I find that like, when I actually like legit know my coaches, they're like people I want to hang with, and it's just a lot more fun. So, all right, you ready for point 2?
Let's get
Can
it.
I ask you a question?
Oh, go ahead. Rachel, jump in here.
So do you find your coaches from your challenge groups, like your challengers turn coaches? Is that primarily how you grow?
Yeah. When they came out with the Vital Process, I was like, preach, because that's my happy place. Because I usually just look for the standouts in my challengers, where I was like, and I test them out too. I'm like, hey, I have something that I've got to do tomorrow, and so I'm not going to be able to post in our group. You've been really involved. Would you mind doing an inspiring post? So then they inspire everybody in our group, and they get experience being a coach before they sign up. And then I'm like, hey, that was awesome. You should do this.
I love that. Empowering your challengers is a critical aspect of building your next leaders. I love that.
Absolutely. Anything else? Are we ready for point 2?
Let's dive into point 2.
All right, let's go. All right. So it is initiate investment. I think a lot of times people are waiting on like, invest in me and then I'll invest in you. Pay money to become a challenger, pay money to buy Shakeology, and then I'll invest in you. And we are the ones that need to initiate investment, because we're the ones that have ultimately a lot to gain if people come in and do business with us, because we have a business structure that generates repeat business over and over and over again. Now, this doesn't mean you need to hand people $15, but if you know that they have a problem, what is something that you could do that would build trust, that would show that you genuinely care? And so, you can do this by just simply sending them maybe a blog that you've written or something that somebody else has written, or maybe you can talk to them about a product that's less expensive than one of ours that's not, competing, to where you're like, hey, listen, you should try this, this water enhancer that will help you switch from soda to this while you're trying to go to water. And so this gives your water some flavor so you can break that soda habit. Because if you break the soda habit, you can lose some weight. I mean, you help people do that. That just helps them see that you actually know what you're doing. And so if you tell somebody, oh, you need to replace your Coke with Shakeology, somebody may be ready to make that point, but the truth is they're going to lose weight if they replace Coke with water. And so if you show them that and they get some results, guess what they're going to come back to you for? Their next tip that they need. And so initiate that value with them, let them see results, let them start to feel better. And a lot of like people are like, I snack on chips every night. I'm like, switch to carrots. I mean, like, it's so simple, but they make that switch from carrots to chips, or from chips to carrots. They lose weight and they see that. And so do something to initiate investment with them. Because if you're just waiting on people to come into your group so that they can see how awesome you are, more people will not get a chance to see it because they're scared to make that investment, because they've think about fitness. Like when it comes to people, like most of the people that you are going to come in contact with have failed over and over and over again. If they have weight to lose, it's probably not because they've never tried. It's because they've tried and they've never found anything that works. And so they don't believe in themselves. And so when it comes to making that initial investment, they're real skittish and they're real hesitant. Not because your product's not awesome, but not because they don't think you're awesome, but because they struggle believing in themselves that they can actually do something that's going to work. And so if you will take that minute to like make that investment in them to initiate it, then you see a much higher return for people that'll say, okay, give me my next step. Tell me what's next. And so doesn't have to be huge. Remember, I'm talking about a link to a blog article, a very tiny piece of advice, something that they can do that will let them see that this is legit. Give them that opportunity. That was number 2.
No, I was trying to unmute myself, Michelle. No, that was awesome. I honestly, the fact that you said you got to initiate investment to gain investment, that is so true. Investing in others so that they're like, you know what, Michelle is legit, or Jennifer's legit, or Morgan's like, I want to be in their group because they are sharing tips with me and they are helping me. Guys, jump in here. Let's start a conversation on that. Like, how are you guys investing in other people, so to say that you're building that trust with them? Like Rachel said, yeah, I shared a meal plan. You share a meal plan a lot to help them to get started. I love that. What else are you guys doing? Me and Michelle are willing to chill here until a conversation starts.
I love awkward silence. I've taught the Bible to high school students. I can outwait all of you.
This is perfect, man.
I'm so good.
All right, Kim says invite to free group. April, ongoing free group for a week, a month. Okay. Share Beachbody blog posts, tips, personal development. You guys can unmute yourselves and talk. I mean, you don't need to chat in the chat box.
PD
Yeah,
is what
I really love sending people books because I'm like, that's what changed the most for me as a coach was my personal development growth. So in ministry, I help women that have moved to my city as of recent. And so a lot of times, anytime that I find out a friend is moving, I either, if I know them well enough, I send them the book instantly that I use in ministry, or I recommend it to them if I'm like, I don't know them that well and I don't want to, send them a book. So, yeah.
Love it. Personal development.
What book do you send them?
It's called After the Boxes Are Unpacked, and it's Just Moved Ministries. If you look up Just Moved Ministries online, it's a church organization. Many churches have it, and they'll, if you ever move to a new place, I really recommend it. It's a great way just to meet other women. I know Michelle probably has heard of this, other women in Christ, and just kind of get connected and make sure that you're keeping God first in your move. So.
I've sent a couple people Jesus is Calling and then Daring Greatly because they keep stumbling over themselves. So, they'll get started and then stop again, and then it's all here. So
I like that. I need to send that one more. That's awesome.
I do something kind of similar. I spend a lot of time talking about like my daily habits and devotional practices, and people will be like, what are you using? So I just created some like PDF journal pages, and I'll be like, here, I'll send it to you. Give me your email. And that way they can start focusing on their mindset, focusing on their spirit. And then they're a lot more ready to do the physical side. And they'll, like Michelle said, they'll come back to me when they're ready for their fitness.
Solid. I love that. Focusing in on that interpersonal person before they're focusing on that, the physical aspect. I love that.
The key is to meet them where they are and to make sure that you're not just giving them a solution to a problem, but that you're giving them a solution to their problem. So the more specific you can be and individual with people, not just I send this to everybody. So I think the key is just like I see a lot of moms are on here, like you parent your kids differently. There's things that would be punishment for Noah that would be like, hallelujah, praise the Lord for my middle. And so what I have to do with that is I have to figure out what is going to motivate them to do what I want them to do. And so don't be afraid to parent your customers and to parent your coaches by making sure you're treating them as individuals.
Exactly. Okay. Well, I don't know, Michelle, if you have another point or,
I can be quick though. You want me to be quick?
Fine. No, I'm not trying to say, wow, this is lame, let's turn this off. No, I was
was going to say, if you want me to go, just say it.
No, absolutely. Jump in here with point 3.
All right. So this one's huge, is prioritize retention over recruiting. We all know recruiting is important, and I'm not saying that it's not, and I'm not telling you to not recruit. And so let me just go ahead and say, I do get that you need to recruit. So recruit, just so we're not confused. But this whole idea of people want this really, really big front door coming in for their business. But what happens is when you have this really big front door, a lot of people don't prioritize closing the back door. And so you've got to figure out what are those things that I can do to support people, because there's nothing more frustrating as a newer coach than to feel like every single month all you are doing is replacing last month's work. So when you have a challenger and they come in, you should retain more than you lose. Okay, you're going to lose some, all right? Some people are not going to get it. Some people are not going to do it because we don't just sell a product. We sell a product that people actually have to use to benefit from it. I get it. But if you're seeing people over and over and over again that are canceling, that are not coming back, it's time to stop blaming everybody else for not being disciplined. Point the finger back here, because the only thing that all those people that are canceling in have in common is you. And say, okay, what can I do to make sure that I am educating people properly or supporting them properly? Because it's usually one of those two things. They either don't understand what Shakeology does for their body, or they don't feel adequately supported. And again, both of those things, you're not required to be the creator of Shakeology. You don't have to create the science of it. You just have to be able to point people and understand how it works, why it's important, and make sure that you're pulling out all of the things that Shakeology does so that they understand the tie-in of the benefits. Because if they don't understand Shakeology helps me with appetite suppression, then they might not know I am experiencing decreased cravings, but I'm going to cancel my Shakeology. They don't know the connection there. And so make sure that you are consistently helping them understand all of the benefits of Shakeology so that when they see those benefits, they know what to attribute it to. And so there's some piece on us for education, but then also for just support. And I think this is one of the things that I've done in my business that's been big. I'll know a lot of you run challenge groups, and challenge groups are awesome. And there's a lot of people that will be fully supported and happy if you just post in the group. But there's also people that need that personal touch, or even online, they're introverts and they don't want to put themselves out there. And so if you will make an intentional reach out to each person in your group twice a week, just to check in to see how they're doing one-on-one, that is like, and it literally can be the same message to every single person. Like it can be the same one. And so have that message where you just say, hey, listen, I just wanted to check in with you. I know like getting in a routine of using Shakeology, what meal are you having it for? What recipe are you using? Do you want me to send you a couple of other recipe ideas? Do you want a form so that you can change flavors next month? Like if you initiate those things of support where they understand the things that are available to them, they'll feel better. And then two, just checking in with them on their workouts. Like what time of day are you working out? Are you finding a rhythm in your routine, or are you struggling? Is there anything that I can do to help you through that? And so I just try to make sure I have 2 touch points with them individually once a week, once on the Shakeology nutrition side, and then once on the fitness side, just so I can see where they are. I can celebrate their successes with them in a one-on-one setting, and I can also address their struggles in that one-on-one setting. And so if you'll do some of those things, that will really close that back door. And if you close that back door and you have more customers that are staying on, that are retaining to where you're building that income every month rather than replacing that income every month, you're converting customers into coaches, or you're converting people from customers into like raving fans, that is sustainable growth that will go your business. And like, seriously, you do this, but you duplicate that in your team, no more volume problems. No more volume problems. And so duplicate that to where it's not just this, I have to get as many people as I can possibly get in every single month, because people may or may not be able to do that. But if you say, I get however many people I can get in, and then I get to keep the majority of what I recruit, that is what builds a business that sustains. And so I have no doubt, if you're on this call, that you have a fantastic recruiting system in place. But what is your retention game? Because if you don't have a retention game, you're going to be replacing a lot of growth. And you want to be able to build on every single month rather than working to just replace. And so recruit, yes, but prioritize your retention and do retention work first. Because if you can't support the people that have already said yes to you, you don't have time for anybody else. And so we all like to meet new people. We all like that new growth because there's incentivization in it for us to recruit those new people. And so eat that frog, do the retention game first, then go and recruit.
So I'm curious, Michelle, if someone does fall off HD, I mean, like, how do you approach that? I mean, do you approach them and say, hey, was it something that you didn't understand, or like?
Yeah, I always want to know. I just want to say, hey, listen, it's totally fine. Can you just talk me through it? Because sometimes if they say it's budget, then I'll make sure that they know, hey, listen, you can become a coach, no pressure. You don't have to sell. You can save a little bit of money every month. Or I could say, do you want to do it every other month? Because if you'll use half a scoop, that's better than nothing. And, so just working with them and understanding, or two, like I've had people before that have said, I'm not sure that I see the benefits of it. And I'll say, well, tell me how much better you're feeling in the group, or tell me how you're using it. Because if you're only using it 3 times a week, of course, you're not going to see the benefits from it. And so then I have the opportunity to say something like, do me a favor before you cancel, give me a week. Drink it every single day this week. Will you commit to that and see if after doing it every single day for a week that you can tell a difference? And so absolutely. I mean, like some people are just going to say, I just don't want to anymore. And I'm not going to badger that person. But if a person has expressed something that I'm like, okay, this is why it didn't work, or let me explain this further, I didn't do a good job, because I'm never going to blame them. And I'm never going to say, well, dummy, you should have been drinking it 7 days a week, not 3. I'm going to say, I didn't explain this clear enough. And so let me explain this, because the priority of Shakeology is really making sure that you are drinking it every single day. That is how you're going to experience those max benefits. So I'm sorry that I didn't explain it well. And so that way I'm going to accept the blame, so there's no shame on them.
Love that. Awesome. Any questions about Michelle's retention plan?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So when you are running your groups and you're making sure that everybody that you're talking, you're doing those 2 touch points. Are you sending text, Facebook message? Are you on the Challenge Tracker app sending it, or are you doing an email? I know for me, I'm all across the board how I talk to my people, and sometimes it's hard. But I'm like, well, this is your job. But have you found a way to streamline that for you?
At the beginning of the group, I get them to tell me what's the best way for me to contact them. And so I don't choose, they choose. And so that way, if they want Facebook message, if they want text, if they want email, if they want Challenge Tracker, whatever works best for them is what I do. And so I'll inconvenience myself to convenience them.
Okay.
Good question. That was a good question.
Awesome. Thank you, Tamara. All right, let's jump into point 4, right?
Okay.
Let's do
this. Is the one that everybody hates the most. So I'm always excited.
I'm ready.
Get people on the phone as soon as possible. There is so much back and forth that goes on between email. If you have not closed a sale and moved on from somebody within 4 days, you're doing it wrong. Literally, doesn't mean that they won't come back at another time to make another decision, but have you heard the expression that like everything stinks, like fish and family stink after 4 days? Okay, so do lingering business conversations. And so don't let them linger, but the sooner that you can connect to get somebody on the phone, the better off you're going to be, because that's when you become a real person. That's when your passion comes out. That's when your care comes out. That's when you separate yourself as something that most people that sell online won't do, because it's all about automation and it's all about, you know, saving yourself time. And I'm not saying that there's not wrong with doing some of those things and tools, but we care about people. We're not just selling a product. We care about people. And so the second that you can like become a real person to that, like the better off you are and the shorter selling cycle you're going to have. And the longer that people have to make a decision, the more chances they are that they're either going to talk themselves out of it or they're just going to get busy and get distracted with the next thing. And so I always tell people that you need to set up some form of a qualifier where, you know, we can do a customer survey to where you can say, tell me about your nutrition habits, tell me about your current workout, tell me about the main reason why you'd be interested in being in a challenge group, like something that initiates them having to tell you something about them. Because if they'll tell you about them, then when you get on the phone with them, you can make the conversation about them, not about you. And so that's huge to where you understand this is their biggest problem that you can address first, and that you can just, again, show you care and that you have a solution to their problem that they have already identified to you. Because here's the truth. If somebody is not willing to fill out a survey or to even just schedule a call with you, because you can set up like Acuity scheduling, Calendly, there's plenty of things where you can do to where people can set up like a 15, 20-minute free consult with you. And if somebody is not willing at minimum to go into a free thing on their phone and schedule a call with you, guess what? They're probably not ready to buy. And so do yourself a favor to where you're not wasting your time on somebody that's not ready. And so get them to have that point where you get on the phone as soon as possible. And then that way you can make sure that you're not just connecting them with a product, but that you're connecting them with the right one. You know, I had a girl one time reach out to me. This was a couple of years ago, but it's one of my favorite examples of this. She reached out to me because she saw that I was running an insanity group. And so she wanted to do insanity with me. And so, but through doing my survey, I found out that she hated boot camp style workouts, plyometrics, and cardio. I was like, and you wanted that? Did you watch the video of insanity? And she was like, I just want to be in your group. I was like, okay, but I don't want you to be miserable, because the best way for you to actually stick with a workout is for it to be something that you don't totally hate. And so let's find you a workout. Tell me what workouts you actually enjoy. And so she was like, I wish I could just make a workout out of dancing. I was like, you can. And so I connected her with Turbo Fire at that point because I didn't have size, you know, and so there was a way to help her. And so she was in my insanity group doing Turbo Fire, but she stuck with it completely. And so, so that was something that was just really, really helpful for me, was setting up something to where I could make sure that I was connecting them with the right product, not just a product. Because if she had bought Insanity, I would have made commission, but she would have hated it and she would have never bought anything from me again. And now she does a lot of things with me. And so use that qualifier to make sure that you're not just setting yourself up for a quick, short, easy sale, but you're actually connecting them with the right product. I think I saw somebody that said, will I share my survey with you? If you go to my website, it's myerscrosstraining.com. You can click on the Join My Community button and enter your email address, and it'll automatically submit it to your email. Just do me a favor and don't fill it out like you're a challenger, but you can see all of the survey there.
Awesome. April Beck had some questions for you.
Yes.
Okay. So sorry, I had to unmute. Okay, so I have a lot of conversations going on with people in the UK, and so I was trying to schedule a call with them at one, and we kind of got disconnected because I did a Zoom call, but I don't think it worked over there. So how would you talk to somebody like that? You know, have a conversation with somebody like that?
Like just in the UK where you can't. I mean, I think the biggest thing.
Pick up the phone and call them.
Yeah, with somebody like that, I think the biggest thing is that they're able to hear your voice. And so you've got the voice messaging option on Facebook. And so you could do that. Or you could, there's a video email sequence that you could pay for. It's called BombBomb. I think it's bombbomb.com. So you could utilize that just to the point to where you can initiate, become a real person, and you can have that conversation. I haven't really branched into UK a ton just because of my season of life with young kids. Having that time change difference doesn't really sequence well. But, you know, those are the exceptions. The truth is, like, what is your rule? Like, we can always make exceptions for the exception, but I think whenever possible, get on the phone as soon as possible.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm also a big fan of Marco Polo as well. If you can get their telephone number, you can video text message them through Marco Polo. It's a great app. Any other questions before we move on to point 5? Morgan, jump in here.
So my biggest struggle when I get on the phone with people is closing. Like, what do you say to somebody at the end of the conversation to give them the next step of, if they don't sign up on the phone, you're going to follow up with them or whatever it may be?
I just make sure that they understand what their action step is. So it's either, you know, I want to check the budget and I want to talk to my husband, or I'm going to look through the 2 different workouts and see which one I like better before I decide which one and which challenge pack I'm going to go with, or I want to review the Shakeology flavors. Like, whatever it is, they have to have an action step, and then they have to know when I'm going to reach back out to them for their answer. And so, when are you going to chat with your husband? Tonight. Okay, well, how would you like for me to follow up with you tomorrow? Do you want me to send you a text? Do you want me to send you an email? So that way, again, it's just not this real lingering conversation, but I want to get them started as soon as possible. And so I'm going to give them an action step and then tell them when I'm going to follow up with them. And so I think it's a matter of just knowing that you are going to follow up and you're going to follow up when, and that they have something that they need to do between the next time you call them. That good?
Perfect. No, that's awesome. Any other questions? Okay, perfect. Let's jump into point 5.
All right, point 5. This one's pretty quick. It's just simply knowing the difference between your mind and your time. There was a really fantastic article that came out a couple of months ago, and I actually, like, when I read the title, I was like, ooh, it sounds kind of mean, but it's actually really true. So what he said was, feed your winners and starve your losers. And so a nicer way to say that is give your time to your doers, but give your mind to your talkers, okay? Everybody knows that this business has 2 people. You got talkers and you got doers, okay? Talkers talk about how awesome they are and talk about everything that they're going to do. But you cannot convert a talker into a doer, okay? Doers just do, and they show up, and you will get so much more out of a doer that's willing to do than a talker, no matter how good of a talker they are. And so when this comes to understanding is, go live in your team page on Facebook. Send emails to your coaches. Make sure that they have all of the information that they need. Do the things that you can do for one person just as quickly and easily as you could do for thousands of people. Okay, give everybody your mind to where they have all of the information and they have all the things that they need to do. But save your time for your doers. Save the time for people that will do. And so what comes to this is, I have action steps for people to take before they get certain levels of access to me. I have hundreds of personally sponsored coaches. For me to try to have an individual 30-minute call with every single one of my personally sponsored coaches would be like ridiculous, okay? It just wouldn't be able to happen. And so, I mean, and these are really simple qualifiers to where, like, if somebody's like, Michelle, I'd like a phone call with you to discuss this, there's a really good chance that whatever somebody is going to do that's just a talker, I've already done a training on. And so I'll say, hey, listen, I would love to chat with you about that, but I did a 45-minute Facebook Live on this in our team page a couple of weeks ago. So what I want you to do is, I'm going to tag you in it on Facebook, and I want you to watch it, and then I want you to tell me the specific questions that you have after watching it. So if they're willing to watch the video, then I'll have a one-on-one conversation with them about their questions. But I'm not going to have a 45-minute conversation with somebody to rehash what I've already done live for the entire team. And so protect your time for the things that matter most by giving your time to the people that will do, because you can give doers stuff and they will get stuff done. And talkers will just talk about it. Because guess what? For all the people that have sent me those individual messages, guess how many people have taken the time to actually watch a 45-minute call? That answered everything that they wanted to, okay? They didn't really want my mind for whatever reason, they wanted to braid each other's hair and just have a quiet, fun moment together. And there's time for that, but business time is not it. And so listen, you come over to my house for a sleepover, I'll braid your hair all day long, but I will not braid your hair during business time. I won't do it. And so understand the difference between your mind and your time. Set everybody up for success with the information. Set everybody up for success with the information. But save your time for your doers. You will be much less frustrated in business. You will know who you need to invest in. And guess what happens? What do you want on your team? Talkers or doers? Doers! And if people want your time, guess what? That will be enough for some people to convert from a talker into a doer. But more talking with you will not do it. Doing will, because doing is what creates action in their business. Doing is what makes them see that it actually works. And so if you set those things up, doing is what actually makes this business get done, not talking. And so by setting up those action steps of what they need to do to talk to you, that is actually setting them up for success in their business long term. And so don't be afraid to explain that to them, because if they're just a talker, they're not going to succeed in this business. And so you conceding to their talking is not going to help them grow a business. You showing them and forcing them to do will show them the activities that actually grow their business, which is what is going to help them have long-term success. And so know the difference between a doer and a talker, and know the difference between giving of your mind and giving of your time, and use that very, very, very wisely.
Love that. Michelle, I wanted to ask you a question in regards to that. How do you get your team quick wins and get them off on the right foot? Like, you're saying, establish your time and make sure that you're with your runners. Are you doing like live power hours? But how do you get your team from day one, the quick wins, so they're like, you know what, I want to sell another challenge pack?
Yeah. Okay. So what I do initially is I have a series of 10 videos that are on my public YouTube channel. You can all watch them. I'm nice and juicy pregnant with my middle son, so you're welcome for the eye candy. But I make them watch those 10 videos so that they can see the things that I say to every single new coach that needs to get started on their business. And so I say the exact same thing to every single person. And then from that 10th call, ask them 2 questions. And it is based on the information that you have watched, what will you commit to do for your business? Like, what are your action steps? And then what are your goals for your first 30 days within your business? And then from there, I go into our getting started right call. Because if they tell me what they're going to do and what their goals are, that's a good checks and balance to make sure that what they want to do is what they say that the activities that they're going to do are. Because if they say, hey, I'd like to be a diamond coach in 3 months, but nowhere on their to-do, so they talk about presenting the business, I say, hey, listen, you either need to present the business or you don't want to be a diamond coach. Which one is it? And so they understand the difference. And so that's the first thing to do. Then I also make them do their business for their first 30 days. Doesn't mean they can't start sharing value online, but I want them to recruit their first challenge group with people that they know in real life and do it face-to-face, because they will do it so much better if they have that accountability for this is somebody that I'm really going to see, and if it's people that they actually care about. Because it takes you a while to care about a stranger on the internet, okay? Like, I know we do it every day and we develop these relationships, but that doesn't happen instantly. And so what you need to do is you need to set yourself up for success that way, because I think most people start cold market selling initially after becoming a coach, and that's why they get so frustrated and why they get so few results. And so your warm market are people that already know you and trust you. And so what you need to do, and some of you on this call may need to go back over and you may need to evaluate, did I actually tap my warm market before I actually started building my business? But rather than saying, hey, it's this fitness group and trying to like turn nutritional flips talking about Shakeology, what you need to do is you need to say, hey, listen, you and I love you and I respect your opinion. And what I would love is I would love to run my first group for this business with people that I really know and love and care about. So naturally, you were one of the first people that I thought about. I care about your opinion. Will you do me a favor? And will you drink the shake for 30 days? Will you try this workout? Will you do it with me? Because A, I think you'll love it, but B, I value your opinion on it. And so I'd love for you to put your personal stamp on what I'm doing. And if you go to people that will say yes to that, like, that's going to be like the most fun challenge group ever. And so they are going to have so much fun their first month as a coach because they love people. They love the people that are in their group. And so there's already this fun community. You don't have to step over this awkward silence of what's appropriate to say to a stranger that I just met on the internet versus this person that's in my kid's kindergarten class versus this girl that I went to elementary school. Like, they will have a group made up of their inner circle that loves them, that wants them to succeed, that's excited, that wants to do it for them. And so go with that immediate inner circle trust. And so what that does is that helps them develop systems for in the future of what they should share in their challenge groups, but it also makes it to where their first group is people they care about. Then their second group probably will come out of referrals from their friends from that first group. And so by that point, they're learning more about Shakeology. They're developing into a leader themselves. They're becoming more comfortable with the verbiage before they ever try to sell online to a cold market. And so I just think it sets everybody up for success that way.
I love that. I love that. Thank you. Golly, that was drop the mic style right there, Michelle. I mean, that was so good. That was so good. Any questions before? I mean, I know that we, went way over, but this has been so worth it. And so I do want to open it up for any questions. I don't want to leave anyone hanging if you guys have any questions. Okay, everyone's like, dude, it was a drop the mic, man. That was like exactly what we needed to hear. And so, Michelle, thank you so much for joining us on this call. Hopefully we can have you back in the future. Other than that, guys, we will go to next week. I will post this. I mean, a lot of people are like, get me a link to this. I will get you a shareable link to this call. Awesome stuff. All right, guys, see you next week, same time. Let's go kick some butt in our businesses.
All right. See y'all.
See you guys.